think windows are made of.
But there's one thing that hasn't changed over 50 years, something that is so important to tell you kids who are new to this movement.
Shut the fuck up. You're sitting in the police transport van after a protest?
Shut the fuck up. In a holding cell with your comrades?
Shut the fuck up. Cop knocks on your door?
Shut the fuck up.
Texting on an unsecured device?
Shut the fuck up. Pulled over by the cops after a protest?
Shut the fuck up. Cop just asking about your day?
Shut the fuck up. Feds call your mom?
Tell your mother to shut the fuck up.
Now, repeat after me. When the cops come calling, what do you do?
Shut the fuck up!
They're right. Don't talk to cops. Don't talk to cops. As I literally told you, even with my Customs and Border Patrol detention fiasco, don't talk to cops. Don't ever talk to cops. Don't talk to law enforcement. They're not your friends. Don't even talk to them if you're at a fucking barbecue. But that's for separate reasons, you know, because they don't deserve any sort of they don't deserve any sort of camaraderie and friendship from you. Okay? Unless you're asking where the horses are, or yeah, I mean, I'm don't do what I'm doing. Don't do what I'm doing, okay? When I'm on camera and I'm asking cops like, where can I piss, or where the horsies are, or whatever, like, don't follow my lead on stuff like that, okay? Don't do what I'm doing. Just do as I'm saying. I'm stupid. I'm a stupid person. And sometimes I have to pee. Nature calls. Can I see your service weapon, officer? I would like to take a look at it. Can I hold your gun? Is it okay to talk to them while tapping them on the out on the jujitsu mats? No. Hasan is white and rich. He gets some leeway with cops. We don't. Yo, speaking of being white and rich, I do have leeway with cops, but I will say this. There were some weird moments yesterday. I will say the second day, actually, at least for the duration that we were there, had less police retaliation. It wasn't like as violent and as aggro as the first day was, partially because the first day there were more numbers, and obviously pigs get very scared when there's a large number of people out there, right? They get, what do we know? Cops. If you ever see a cop running, you're fucking cooked, okay? If you ever see them lining up, you're also fucking cooked. As a matter of fact, if you see cops in general, you're kind of cooked. But my point is, they fear water bottles, they fear projectiles, it scares them, they fear loud noises, and also expressions of joy. They hate expressions of joy. Anyway, they hate bright colors, they hate press, they pretty much hate everyone. The only people that I don't see them routinely brutalizing are other white supremacists. So I guess, like, you know, there is that. But here is one thing that I mean, overall, it was more tense partially because they weren't like instantly fucking opening, and it wasn't like a constant barrage of them like pushing and then opening fire, pushing, opening fire. But instead, it was just like more tense. But one thing that I found out, or after the fact, but even though I got scoped a couple times by both the LA Sheriff's Department, but also the National Guard troops, was that they were pointing out people in the crowd. And I guess when he went and reviewed the footage, I think it's this guy looking right at us and pointing right at us and getting other homies to come over.
Pointing at us?
March says they're pointing at us.
Wait, like, technically,
yeah, there
California
is.
National Guard is here.
But I can't tell if they were, you know, maybe they were just Hasan heads. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they were just, maybe he's a hate watcher, or maybe he was just a Hasan head. Who knows? Like, there's National Guard. Maybe they recognize you and we're just starstruck. Is that Hasan Abi? Yeah. You got scoped by the ABC's chopper. They pointed you out taking photos and everyone coming up to you. Wait, really? That's funny. Maybe he just wanted a photo. I don't know. TikTok was saying it was because you look like a cop in your vest, lol. Yeah, I don't think the cops thought I looked like a cop. Let me tell you. Because I just don't think the cops thought that. Maybe other protesters might have thought that, but then it would have been really weird if the other protesters had thought that, would then look at all these other protesters coming up and like fucking taking photos and whatnot. But he thinks your head is small is a challenging target. Yeah. This video actually kind of goes hard. I'm not gonna lie. Me with one hand in the pocket and the motorcycle also revving right at the same moment. Like that I don't know. Sometimes videos just hit, you know. CNN blamed the protesters when they found used rubber bullets. That's some top class reporting. I know. There's a reason why they're behind the fucking cops and we are on the side of the protesters. That is something that I wanted to explain. Like CNN and a lot of mainstream media is there to drive home that same fucking narrative that like, yo, these rowdy protesters are really making police work quite difficult today. Like that is their job. That is their goal. That is what they're there to do. Okay? That is what they're there to do. The video of you crossing the bridge yesterday while getting fired at was pretty crazy. Yeah, I know. That shit was insane. This version is better. Hutch dipshit. Oh yeah, I saw this as well. But anyway, there was a couple moments where there were definitely a couple moments where, you know, cops were being fucking I mean, cops were always being escalatory. They were always obviously opening fire without any reason whatsoever, just because they felt like it and to initially like move people, you know. Fuck my hair up. Twitch streamer Hasan Piker is stunned by flashbang in LA riots. Twitch pundit Hasan Piker was caught up in the mayhem of LA riots on Monday. Twitch streamer Hasan Piker was caught up in the Los Angeles riots with footage capturing the moment he was disoriented by loud flashbangs. Hasan Piker, who lives in LA, is known for posting YouTube videos under the moniker Hasan Abi, was interrogated by border agents last month upon returning overseas with his anti-Trump political views. On Monday, photos and footage of him attending the protests were shared on social media. They're firing into the crowd now. I don't think that's fireworks, buddy. Piker is heard saying as he streamed from the scene. They're already deploying flashbangs. Not great. Look, what they're going to try to do is close down the other side of the road, he said while standing in a throng of protesters on a highway underneath a bridge. I think they're going to push from this side of the road. Oh, shit. Oh, that fucked my hair up, he adds as the loud bangs are heard. Piker continues to walk through the crowd as the loud bangs continue and fans are seen approaching him to shake his hand and take selfies. Yeah. Protesting for Gen Z has turned into a very different sport, I will say. Like, it is pretty crazy. I don't mind taking photos, you know, obviously, and it's great that like people are out there, right? And if you're out there and you're fucking Christ, the gray bars are back. If you're out there and you want a little treat on the side to get a photo, like that's fine because you're still out there. Right? You're still protesting. But, you know, don't overdo it. Well, it is wild how little people have, how little people care about their own safety and security. What is this? I saw the clip of you getting flashbang on Instagram with thousands of likes. Cool to see you reaching places I don't usually see you in. Yeah. Like, y'all need to take better care of yourselves. Okay. You're already out there. It's already like a dangerous situation. And, and you're just like, what's up? Can we take a photo as flashbangs are exploding? Tom Morello was present on yesterday's protest. Also, at the end of yesterday's stream, a guy took pictures of you. Yeah, I know. I saw that. I mean, I caught him doing that. Wouldn't it be better just to look and wave at chat together real quick instead of fumbling with phones and gather a screen cap later? Yeah. Anyway, but of course, as always, the people that seemingly are paid to be wrong, ironically enough, they do it for free, but they should be paid to be wrong, are constantly getting things wrong all the time. Streamer Hutch praises the restraint of LAPD and criticizes Hasan Piker for implying the police will fire on protesters as police begin firing on protesters.
Well, that's kind of what it feels like.
Okay, all right.
If that makes sense.
Makes sense. I just think is it. I mean, listen, is it not kind of comical that he's been given this commentary about like, oh yeah, that's standard issue weaponry. That's usually a surefire sign that things are about to pop off, and he's been doing that for like an hour. And so far, it seems like the police.
Wait, what? That, bro, that's crazy. Ain't no way he was, ain't no freaking way he was talking this big shit. Ain't no freaking way. Southern lion? This man is no lion, okay? Wait, he was watching my protest coverage for an hour straight, just hate watching? Are these guys all right, man? He's like, yeah, I've been watching for an hour and no one has killed him yet. What's going on? Pick up the slack, LAPD. I like that he is so, like, his perspective is so anti-me. Like, this guy's supposed to be a liberal, okay? His perspective is so anti-me that he's just decided, like, police actually don't brutalize people at all. I don't know why he's saying that.
He's been given this commentary about like, oh yeah, that's standard issue weaponry. That's usually a surefire sign that things are about to pop off.
Also, half of the things that I was saying was like memes. Like, I don't think, like, you know, when I say cops, like, loud noises scare them. Anyway,
like
let's watch.
Like an hour, and so far it seems like the police are showing restraint. Like, they're not advancing. They issued a dispersal order and they haven't advanced. Oh yeah, no, they use that technology in Colombia. To, oh, okay. Oh, fuck me, right?
Yeah, fuck you, actually. Yeah, fuck yourself. I love that this guy is so consistently wrong. It's so funny. Brother, make up your own fucking mind. You can, like, if you position your whole shtick as being against me while simultaneously claiming that you're a fucking libtard, you're always going to be wrong, and you're going to be wrong in the direction of conservatism to a degree where, like, other liberals are probably going to look at you and go, I don't really fuck with you, man. You're constantly saying shit that is wrong and also kind of conservative. These guys refuse to develop their own political perspectives. And basically, they refuse to develop their own political perspectives and basically decide that, like, their whole thing is like, whatever I'm saying, they're going to say the opposite. Leftists hating other leftists more than right wingers. Who is surprised? He's not a leftist, man. These guys are just like, they're grifters. Okay. Speaking of grifters, this one is a liberal grifter, right? This one is the liberal version of this. But there's also a right-wing version of this as well, a more right-wing version of this, and that's fucking Asmongold. Okay, where is it? I saw the Hasan Abi Productions posted it. Apparently, Asmongold also has some takes on this. Asmongold, Hasan is a fake revolutionary. He's not on the street putting his life on the line. Chat, he was literally protesting in the streets. Asmongold, well, he should be arrested then. Like they will go, hey man, why aren't you doing anything? Why aren't you getting off your ass? By the way, he never gets off his fucking ass, even though I get off my ass all the goddamn time whenever there is like an opportunity to mobilize. And then when they find out I did actually fucking get off my ass, then he goes, okay, well, then he should be arrested.
You see Hasan? No, I don't see Hasan. I heard he was out there. I don't know. I think that I saw an image of it, and I think he's on like the side up the top. So he's not actually going to go down there and stand in the in this area, because if he
goalpost shifted. No, I was fucking down there, dipshit. He went in. But that's not enough. It's not enough that he actually is there. He actually is not like in front of the line. Oh, he is in front of the line. Okay, well, then he should be killed.
if he did, he'd get in trouble. Right? Like, he has no problem LARPing as a revolutionary, but actually putting it on the line, this is going to be very different, which, to be fair, he was. Well, if he was actually doing that, he should get in trouble. Like, I mean, for sure. He was, though? Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to go and double check. He already did? Oh, I'd have to double see and see it. Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, I think all these people should just get arrested. That
was so quick. Someone was like, no, he was down there. It's like, oh, he should get arrested. Like, that was literally, bro, the goalpost shift was so fast. He just went, like, dude, oh my God. He went, he's not down there. He's a LARPer. He's not down there. He's a LARPer. Where are you? You're at your house. Why don't you go protest alongside ICE, dude? Put your pussy right on that, okay? Put your pussy right in the fucking front lines. Stand behind the ICE agents and be like, please, please kill these people. You have no problem saying that from home. You know? Go to the pro-Israel rallies and be like, we want more death. Yeah, go fucking assist ICE, you goddamn bootlicker. Jesus Christ.
like, I mean, for sure. He was, though? Yeah,
Look, this part is so funny, though. Holy shit. Someone being like, nah, he was there. He was in the front lines. Like,
different, which, to be fair, he was. Well, if he was actually doing that, he should get in trouble. Like,
just no. You should just. He's just fucking then kill him, arrest him. Come on. What's happening?
I mean, for sure. He was, though? Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to go and double check. He already did? Oh,
dude, right-wingers are such crybabies, dude. They have designed their entire culture around resisting against a tyrannical government. Okay, they're like, oh yeah, come and take it, bitch. Like, I got my gun. Like, I'll fight tyranny. You know, they wave the Gadsden flag, but then the moment that the government is being tyrannical, they're like, oh, please do more tyranny, please. Actually, can I assist you? Can I assist you in the tyranny? We love the tyranny.
I'd have to double see and see it. Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, I think all these people should just get arrested. That's really how I see it.
Asmongold looking at the picket lines during the civil rights struggle. Yeah, all these blacks, they got to get arrested. And the whites too, actually. Separate but equal, guys. Yeah, based. It's separate but equal. Too much, if you ask me. It should be separate and unequal. But they got equality. It's just separate. They don't like it. Yeah. Why are they resisting? Yeah. Based. Yeah. I was going to be on board, but LBJ, not really good that he sent the National Guard to Selma. Why is he protecting these criminals? Obviously, the law's the law. The law's the law, guys. Chat. The law is the law. These blacks that are trying to walk, trying to march, how about They don't march. I don't like it. We want to keep them separate. Yeah. Yeah, law's the law. Law and order. Restore it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see how like there's no other solution to it other than that.
There's no other solution. By the way, the beauty of this is these people, okay, are engaging in a behavior that absolutely is a nuisance, okay? They're protesting and they've blocked off the highway in an effort to protest, right? Except they're protesting for a good cause, a cause that I 100% agree with, that ICE should not work within the confines of any state, really, but especially not in Los Angeles, which is a sanctuary state and a sanctuary city, right? No ICE. No ICE in general. If you were to ask me, I think it should be completely dissolved. It should not exist at all, okay? In the past, before the Department of Homeland Security was invented, ICE did not exist. You had the INS, which would routinely conduct raids as well, which also should be, I mean, it was significantly more limited than what took place since ICE's invention, which is, again, a relatively new phenomena in American history, okay? A lot of people take it for granted. You think the Department of Homeland Security was, like, always around. Like, is post 9/11, okay? And so is ICE. And INS's activities, mostly, aside from like every now and then going after undocumented migrant workers, but their overwhelming majority of INS activities still revolved around like sex trafficking and like criminal elements, right? There are already federal law enforcement agencies that are supposed to be tasked with dealing with like drug trafficking. You got the DEA, weapons trafficking. You got the ATF, right? And kidnapping and sex trafficking, you got the FBI. ICE does not need to exist. It simply exists as a way to militarize immigrant enforcement, which is a not a real crime, basically. Like crossing the border is not considered a real crime. Overstaying your visa is not considered a severe enough crime that is supposed to be met with this level of force, this level of apprehension and mass detentions. If it was the case, then ICE wouldn't be routinely, when there's a libtard in charge, routinely conducting regular checkups with migrants that they are now kidnapping at the point of those checkups, for the record. It's not a crime. It's just paperwork. Like, you're waiting for your paperwork to be fulfilled to stay in the country. Right? So I think ICE should be abolished. 100%. This is a civil violation to cross the border illegally, or a civil violation to overstay your visa, which is, of course, the majority of undocumented migrants on U.S. soil are visa overstayers. Okay? But the crime that we're talking about in and of itself is simply paperwork, waiting for your paperwork. In most circumstances, these people are just waiting for their paperwork, and the government turns off the opportunity for said paperwork to be fulfilled. And then they go, nope, you're done. You're out. So I consider this completely ridiculous, completely unacceptable. ICE's affairs are unimaginably cruel and completely unjustifiable. And also, it doesn't help anything. It hurts commerce. It hurts these communities. It hurts the culture. It fucks the vibes up. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. It is for no good reason. The only reason why all of these raids are happening is because Trump has been able to successfully whip up an incredible amount of hatred and dehumanization against migrants, claiming that they were all rapist criminals. So much so that even other people who are related to undocumented migrants themselves ended up voting for him. The alternative was so ass from their perspective that they went and they voted for Donald Trump. I understand that this is a frustrating moment for many liberals to turn around and say, well, sucks to suck, fuck them, okay? You can never feel this way, because if you are a liberal or if you're a leftist, if you're a progressive, you believe in the values, okay? You believe in empathy. Your first principles revolve around doing no harm to others or making other people's lives better. So do not fucking gloat. We were in an Uber going to Little Tokyo yesterday from one part of the protest to the next. And the dude that was in the Uber was Latino. And he told me he was so sad that he had voted for Donald Trump, that he never actually foresaw this level of reaction, like this kind of ICE enforcement happening in Los Angeles. And he was wrong. And I fucking yelled about this every goddamn day. I yelled about this every fucking day on this goddamn broadcast. Every day, that Donald Trump was a fucking fascist, that he was going to do mass deportations, that no one in the media was actually talking about how severe these deportations were going to look like, how awful these deportations were going to look like. And you want to know why no one in the media was asking that? Because the Democrats themselves were also running on immigration enforcement. They were running to the right. They were trying to, don't say fell for it again, because you have to remember, while yes, people who were locked in, people who were laser focused, people who were paying attention, people like yourselves that were in here for the entire journey, sure, you understood the situation. Okay? You understood the situation, but you have to recognize that the Democrats themselves also showcased a militant reaction to undocumented migration because they were so scared. They saw the incredible amount of reactionary, right-wing, fuck migrants type of sentiment coming from the Republicans for the 4 years that Brandon was in charge. And by the end of said 4 years, Joe Biden turned around and said he was going to do a border wall bill. He was basically going to implement Donald Trump's 2020 vision. They openly admitted that migrants constitute a national security threat. They basically handed that victory to the Trump administration by saying, you know what? We got caught. Trump was right. Migrants are actually criminals. Some of them are really violent ones, as a matter of fact. But we want to be the reasonable way. We want to be the reasonable party that deports some of these criminal migrants. They want to deport every migrant. That kind of idiotic messaging is only going to make the average person think, okay, well, I guess the Republicans were right. I guess the Republicans were fucking right that migrants are criminals. Of course they're going to think, yeah, I guess I should vote for the honest guys. Why should I vote for the diet version when the real full power soda exists? I'm using Felix Biederman terminology here. The full powered soda, the full powered sugar soda is the Republican Party. The diet, gay, elitist, technocratic version of said soda is the Democratic Party. No one wants to drink the diet soda. We're Americans. Oh, come on. John Oliver never stopped talking about it all the way through the Biden admin starting month 2. Are you John Oliver? Okay. So it was me and fucking John Oliver. CBS, ABC, NBC, CNN. None of these outlets were covering this issue from the perspective of the humanity of undocumented migrants and how cruel it is that we do not simply follow up on their paperwork. You want to know why? Because the Democrats completely dropped the fucking ball. They ran a successful campaign against Donald Trump's ridiculous anti-migrant policies when Trump was in office. Joe Biden literally had a 100 first days immigrant agenda. in his 2020 campaign. He didn't do a single part of it. Okay? He didn't do that. He didn't do that at all. And no one called into question. No one called into question his lack of interest in dealing with a migrant crisis.
Impeding a highway? They are. They're impeding a highway.
Yeah, they're impeding a highway, and that's unacceptable. But those cops are also then using said highway for the rest of the night to stage, okay, because that's what they did. Those cops then impeded the highway for the rest of the night as a staging ground, by the way. But Asmongold, of course, has no issue with that. These guys are impeding the highway in protest. That's wrong. They should be arrested. Cops impede the highway so they can use the same fucking taxpayer-funded weapons on their own fucking tax-paying citizens to defend ICE raids in the fucking state, a sanctuary state, in a sanctuary city. That's perfectly valid. Do you understand the double standard? It all revolves around institutions and defending institutional power, defending state power. You're like, no, cops can do whatever the fuck they want. They can be as violent as they want. That's perfectly valid, because on the other side, the people that are receiving that violence are probably doing something that they shouldn't be doing. You're not even like entertaining the idea that maybe the cops should not be doing this. The vast majority of Americans do not want to deport most illegal immigrants who lived here for years and are productive members of society. The fact that the Democrats are scared to fight on an issue where they have a 61-24% majority is absolutely pathetic. Yeah, also, this is not new, okay? People wanted fucking mass deportations, right? Everyone said, oh, well, 60% of Americans want mass deportations. What did I say? What the fuck did I say whenever those polls came out? Two things. Number one, those polls also have a second question that never gets brought up in media. When given two options, mass deportation or mass amnesty, the majority always goes with mass amnesty, okay? That's the second option is never discussed. And number two, these people are advocating for a thing that they do not understand. And it is up to both the media and, more importantly, the Democratic Party, the counter message, to show how depraved mass deportations would look like. And if the Democrats don't actually, one, talk about the humanity of migrants and how we are a nation of migrants and how these people are wonderful contributors to American society, that they're just working alongside all of us every single day, and how important it is that we actually fucking pay them back, how we actually give them the paperwork, how we actually allow them to become more productive members of society that can take more of the amenities, they can use more of the fucking amenities. When the Democrats don't do that, and the market is flooded with right-wing sentiment, you arrive at Haitians are eating fucking cats and dogs. Haitians on temporary protective status that Trump offered them, by the way, just as the Biden administration did, are actually fucking illegal aliens and they're eating cats and dogs. That's what the discourse was. It blew my fucking mind. If you let these guys, even with liberals, okay, this is why I yell at liberals all the fucking time. If you let the right-wing reactionary psychopaths drive discourse, they are always going to escalate. They are always going to say even more insane things, even more violent things, even more radical things, because they have not logically arrived at their position. They have arrived at their position not by looking at the facts of the ground, facts of the matter, looking at the facts on the ground, looking at empirical evidence. They arrived at that conclusion out of fucking anger, resentment, and fear. They arrived at that because they have a white nativist attitude, a white supremacist attitude, an idea that like third world migration is actually disrupting American culture and ruining American society. We don't want to be around these blacks and browns. Like that's their fucking mentality. That's their primary fucking focus here. And they will do anything to try and radicalize average people every single fucking day. And they did it so goddamn successfully. It blows my mind. They did it so successfully that fucking Latino men were going, that's right. I, Jose, believe that we should fucking get these bad migrants out of this country. It's like, bro, they think you're the bad migrant. They think you are also the third world guy that fucking ruined the culture of this country. That's what they're saying. Oh. And now that this violence is unfolding, of course, people go, oh, never mind. I didn't like that. It's just like, as I said, the Uber driver who was like, you know, really devastated that he was watching his fucking neighborhood get ripped apart by ICE agents and having his neighbors get packed up. ICE going to school graduations. Like, how fucking insane is that? Where are these criminals that they're apprehending? At school graduations? Are they apprehending these criminals at Home Depot? A dude that is so desperate for work that he's just gonna he's gonna do some drywall work, okay? For pennies on the fucking dollar. That's how desperate that guy is. That guy's the criminal, really? Not this goddamn administration filled to the brim with rapists and you know, drunkards and psychopaths, felons. That guy who just simply wants a leg up for his family. Guy who came here and is working in slave labor conditions with the hopes that maybe his next of kin will have a better opportunity, one that he is fighting desperately for. That guy's the criminal. Fuck you. And I want everyone to understand the only value that undocumented migrants present is their slave labor is not the argument that I'm making. I'm saying that it is additionally fucked up, additionally crazy that that these people who contribute so much to society, so much to America, so much to our economy, so much to our culture, so much to what makes America great. Like, one of the only aspects of American society. There's three things. I was thinking about this in the shower earlier this morning. There's three major things that I can point to that are still good about the United States of America. Okay? Diversity is one of them. It's a major point. Diversity is a fucking major point. Diverse culture, better food, a better attitude overall. Okay, America's a profoundly diverse nation, and that's a good thing. Okay, and it is only a diverse nation as a consequence of migration. Okay. The other two good things are due process and some of the weirdly liberal quirks of our criminal justice system that ironically don't even exist in other OECD nations. You know, you're entitled to a lawyer. These are good things, right? You can't just be like unjustifiably detained for an extended period of time. These are good things that America still has. And last but not least, the First Amendment. And all three of these things are being ripped apart. The only good things about America are being fucking taken away. The last remainder of good things that America offers its citizens unfucking conditionally is now being taken away by this administration. And you got dumb fuck hogs that are championing this, that are like, no, hell yeah, finally, authoritarianism is here. I was waiting for it. Because why? Well, maybe it'll destroy my enemies. Maybe it'll destroy the people that I have designed as enemies in my mind. People that I'm just scared of. Thankfully, the government is packing these scary people up. It's disgusting. It's also disgusting when you look at the situation. I'm a Californian, okay? I've been living here for, 12 fucking years at this point, right? I've been living in Los Angeles for 12 years, in Los Angeles, California, okay? It is one of the, with the exception of, I guess, like Istanbul and Ankara, it is the one place that I've lived in for the longest period of time in my life, okay? I love the state. I love the city. There's many fucking problems. There's many issues, right? But I still love it because it's very diverse. It's incredible. It's great food, great weather. It's got it all, okay? And I cannot comprehend how insane it is that an administration that has tremendous resentment for California, which is in and of itself as a state the 4th largest economy on the planet. Like it has a larger economy than fucking Germany. Okay, California as a state is the 4th largest economy on the planet. And an administration that is backed up by some of the most racist fucking pieces of shit on the planet, in the interest of serving some red meat to its most radical elements within his base, are taking these incredibly violent actions that rip apart the social fabric in California. And it is so hostile. Like it blows my mind how hostile these people are, who have never lived in California, who will never live in California, who will never live in Los Angeles. And they're looking at it from the outside going, hell yeah, this is what I voted for. It's like, fuck you, man. Fuck you. I'm not advocating when Brandon is president. I'm not advocating for them to come in and like sick the Gestapo on you for, I don't know, mudding or some shit, or wanting to shoot your guns, right? Like that's a fear that you have fantasized in your life. That is a fear that you have created in your mind. And that fear caused you to vote for the fucking Republican Party. And then the Republican Party turns around and goes, actually, we are going to use the federal government to destroy the social fabric of California. And you're like, hell yeah, that's right. That's great. Like, keep to your own fucking business, dude. What the fuck is this shit? It's so goddamn frustrating. This TikTok about living in LA and going to the protests is going viral. Yeah, I've seen this one too.
Fox News. She called me today. She said, you need to get out of LA. LA is burning. Aren't you scared? Meanwhile, this is what's going on in LA. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you. I got snacks. Sometimes people look at me crazy when I say I live in downtown LA, and they're like, aren't you scared to live there? Tell me you don't get it without telling me you don't get it. Show me a city that shows up to defend its citizens the way LA shows up to defend its citizens.
Black community will always stand in solidarity. We're not going to get out of the streets until ICE are out of our streets. Ain't that right? ICE out of LA! ICE out of LA!
Police in LA are overwhelmed. We got to send in the Marines. Send in the Marines.
Even the fucking liberals that are like not even in Los Angeles, and I know they're not in LA because they're going, why are the brown people waving Mexico flags? It's like, bro, have you seen Los Angeles? Like, what the fuck do you mean? Why are the Mexican Americans waving Mexico flags in resistance against a fucking very clear racist act by the federal government that is targeting brown people? Of course they're gonna fucking wave Mexico flags. It's Los Angeles. What the fuck? Who gives a shit? What do you mean? What the fuck do you mean? It's not called the Angels. It's called Los Angeles. This shit's so fucking annoying. Oh, they need to wave more American flags. It's like, yeah, really? Is that what's going to do it for you? Because clearly the acts from the Trump administration was not enough for you to say unconditional support to these people. You know? You have to see American flags for your sensibilities to kick in. Get the fuck out of here. Meanwhile, the Trump administration is also unironically using that as a reason to be like, see, it's an invasion. It's a foreign invasion. It's like, dude, they're American, you fucking idiot. They're American citizens. They're waving their heritage. Fuck your optics game. Holy shit. The fuck do you mean? What optics?
The Marines, meanwhile, the police in LA. Pokemon Go playing motherfuckers got their McDonald's delivered.
Yeah. Like there is nothing more American, and I mean this in a positive way, okay? Normally when I say something is American, it's a pejorative, but in this circumstance, there's nothing more American in the positive affirmation sense than being able to fucking wave the flag of the country of origin while you are here, okay? What are we talking about? What are we fucking talking about, dude? It's disgusting. If you take issue with foreign flags being flown at protests, go take that up with Israel, which is a fucking Nazi country doing an ethnic cleansing campaign. Mexico ain't doing all of that, all right? Where's the smoke for St. Patrick's Day parade, you know? Oh, well, or where's the smoke for the Ukrainian protests? Oh, that's right, they're white, so it doesn't matter. It's not the kind of foreigner that we don't like in this country. To be fair, even with the Ukrainian one, people are starting to get agitated against that too, because Donald Trump hates Ukraine too. It's so fucking stupid, but Italian flags at the Italian Day Parade. It's an invasion. It's an invasion. All die on this hill. We're never going to reach their sensibilities, Hasan. We need to raise the American flag so that the narrative can't be twisted in the media, which is what it's going to be. They do it every time. No, dude. What happens every time is squishy liberals such as yourself actually fucking fall into the same trap. You get dominated by the right-wing framing. You get dominated by the right-wing framing, and you actually lean on the sensibilities of a third party that you do not know exists out there, okay? The idea that there is a guy out there who's like, I don't really like that they're deporting people that are simply waiting for their paperwork to be processed. And I think that's an inherently violent act, but I can't get myself to be on board with these fucking protests until they wave the American flag, until they wave the flag of the state that's doing that. It's the same principle behind Black Lives Matter, which of course ended up becoming a commodified, toothless version of itself. But that's exactly what people were saying with Black Lives Matter. They were like, oh, well, why don't we say all lives matter, Hasan? Why don't we say all lives matter? I was there. I was there at the fucking protest back then, too. I know everybody always was like, oh, Hasan, you never go out there. This is a war in the media. Okay. We're not trying to woo ourselves here. We're trying to woo the fucking morons, the idiots of the country. No, dude. My point is the idiots of the country are not actually going to fucking realize that these are good protests because they're waving the American flags. They don't give a shit. They're going to move the goalpost to the next thing. What is wrong with you? It's the same as like my fucking haters. Here, I'll use a hyper-specific analogy here to Twitch streaming. Asmongold is like, oh, he'll never fucking go down there. He'll never go outside of his house. He just wants to sit in his fucking ass and cover the protest from afar from the comfort of his home because he likes the fucking LARP, okay? Then his chatters are like, no, he is there. He's like, okay, well, he's only on the top there, though. He's actually only shooting from afar. He doesn't want to put himself in the line of fire. He doesn't want to put himself in danger. And then people go, oh, no, he's actually in the front line right there. You're wrong. And then he goes, okay, he must be arrested because he doesn't give a fuck. It's not about defending these protests because if you look at the cruelty that is going on with the federal government's insane enforcement, dragnet campaigns, arresting people at their fucking place of business, arresting people for cooperating with the administration, with the immigration authorities, arresting them at fucking courthouses, arresting them at fucking schools. If you see all of that and you don't give a fuck and you don't actually unconditionally 10 toes down support the fucking protest, then a flag is not going to do it. Okay? That's it. So don't come in here, which is one of the only fucking outlets, one of the only media outlets, one of the only communities that is actually doing exactly what you wish we were doing, which is to counter that fucking misinformation, to counter that goddamn narrative and be like, no, actually, you're wrong. Optics are very important here. It's not. It's not. Okay? Optics are utterly irrelevant. Optics are only relevant for the squishy liberals who are going to find the next thing to grab onto to say, sorry, I'm a white moderate. I'm a white moderate, and I place a timeline on another man's emancipatory movement, okay? The real thing to do in this circumstance is to tackle the issue head on. The real issue to tackle here is their lack of interest in trying to create a movement of justice, as opposed to the presence of order that they have in their lives. Because if you are from these communities, if you have undocumented migrants, or once again, undocumented migrants can mean people who are waiting for their fucking court date, okay? 93% of undocumented migrants that have court cases that are pending actually follow through and they go to their immigration court dates, okay? Remember that, 93%. So these are people who think that maybe through all of this naivete that they believe that this fucking government is going to do the right thing, that, you know, they are going to actually, if they play ball and if they cooperate, they will inevitably allow them to have the proper paperwork to fucking live here, okay? Explain that to people. Explain the cruelty of the people, okay? Explain the actual problem. Complaining that people in Los Angeles are waving the fucking Mexican flag is one of the most insane things I've ever seen. One of the most insane complaints I've ever seen. Netizens of Bilibili are loving your coverage of the protests. This is the day you wore your red star hat. Support for Super Earths. The Ministry of Truth is fagging illegal broadcasts. What is happening to my camera? My camera is tweaking right now. Hold on here. We'll just go with this then. Oh. All right. Today's look is so MB, haha. Black Ops Live demo, twinkling red star. Los Angeles has established diplomatic relations with me. I unilaterally recognize the integrity of the territory. Early Cuban military uniforms. Yeah. I think that a lot of people fail because of their own personal sensibilities. I think a lot of people fail in this because they think there is an optics game here that you can win over without actually just like addressing the root cause of why these protests are happening to begin with. Okay? Address why these protests are happening. Explain to people why these protests are happening. That is an infinitely more successful way to approach these people. If someone is saying, yeah, all of this immigration, like kidnappings and all this stuff is really fucked up, but these guys are waving the Mexican flag and I can't find myself supporting someone who waves the Mexican flag, then okay, that person is probably not going to be on your side regardless. They're going to find another thing. They're going to say the same thing that they did with Black Lives Matter. Oh, I think that it's really fucked up that the police are actually pretty racist towards black people in their policing practices, but I can't in good conscience support a movement that says like fuck pigs, for example. That kind of language is very spicy. I don't like it. It's like, okay, so you misunderstood what was going on here. Every single historical struggle that has ever existed has been met with people that are tackling the problem from a privileged position and would rather maintain a presence of order rather than advocate for justice, because advocating for justice in this circumstance requires you to demand change. And oftentimes that demand is not going to come from the magnanimous nature of our politicians and our systems and our government that is designed the way it is. It's only going to come when it's met with force. That is precisely the reason why, regardless of how people have whitewashed the civil rights struggle, for example, there was a tremendous amount of resistance and a tremendous amount of unpopularity until the pressure was so unimaginably high that the fucking dam broke. That's why I also always stress the importance of consistently pressuring and continuing to protest against Israel's genocide. Okay? It is exactly the same. It is identical. The response is identical. Asking a minority group to sacrifice their heritage in favor of assimilating to American culture, even symbolically, should never be a solution. It's also not a bad. It's also not a bad thing. It's not even a point of contention. I have no issue with someone waving the flag of Mexico, man. I think, like, especially in places like Los Angeles, but anywhere in America, it's great. It's wonderful. Why would you care? Why would that be a bad thing? You know? It's these people's heritage. It is a part of being an American, okay? It is a part of living here that you get to do that. Yeah. Central Committee says liberal nitpicking and protest isn't some good faith advice. It is what they do to give themselves permission to do nothing in the face of fascist repression. Exactly. Well, see, I'm a good person who would totally fight fascism, but these protests have such bad optics that I can't. Very specifically, we had these exact debates about people saying ACAB in 2019. I literally debated Hutch on that point. We had to use the military to force desegregation. Exactly. People don't fucking get that this is historic. Mexico is like the concept of the Basque country. Yeah, even fucking Will Stancil had a really good take on this. I can't believe I'm saying this. I am not doing this 2020 it's racist to criticize protest tactics thing anymore. It was a catastrophic failure on every level. Okay, march down and tell them to stop being so Mexican. Good luck. You can either accept these communities exist and are proud and defend them, or you can side with the MAGA Nazis and tell them to pipe down, but for optics. This is a banger take from Will Stancil. What the fuck is going on? I can't believe I'm saying this. I saw another thing that he said that was also actually very smart. He was responding to another one of these like liberal optics peddlers, okay? There was another thing that he said. It doesn't matter. Just like, dude, listen. The narratives that the Republicans carefully crafted against Black Lives Matter protests, who were also overwhelmingly peaceful, but was met with police resistance at every point and only became chaotic as a direct consequence of police resistance, okay? Considering that they were also, fundamentally anti-police protests. Of course, that was going to happen. The only reason why people went, oh, well, this was a catastrophic failure. This was a catastrophic failure by every fucking metric. The BLM protests were a catastrophic failure by every metric. The only reason why they said that is because they didn't like it. Okay? They didn't like it. The thing, by the way, if you have any optics considerations still to this day, right now, the greatest antidote to that optics consideration and that liberalism that you still have in your heart and mind and soul is to attend one of these protests. It will basically rip away all of the things that you previously thought, okay, about like cops actually protecting and serving these communities, or who is the person that is, you not getting shot with us is true. I'm not. What do you mean us? Are you out in the streets or are you on fucking Twitch in the chat? Because it kind of feels like you're just in the Twitch chat fantasizing about being shot at. Yes. Yeah, okay. At least you recognize it. Yes, I will not be... I'm out in the streets. Oh, okay. Maybe that's the reason why. I didn't see you. So, I didn't see you when you were out in the streets. I love you. Shut up. I'm just saying, I didn't see you yesterday or the day prior. So maybe you're taking your sweet ass time to get out in the streets. Anyway, throwing bagels at the wall. Thank you for the 20 gifted subs. After your stream yesterday, I volunteered to be a legal observer for the National Lawyers Guild. Never had heard of them before. Thanks for your coverage. Hell yeah. Please read logs. I think I'm bringing up an important point about the protest. Debate tactics, not optics. Fuck shit up. Don't get arrested is my take. What? In my mind, being picked off individually caused the motion to lose steam, so we need the most amount of chaos while optimizing the least amount of arrests. I unconditionally support the protest, and I still think that the protests need more tactics to further our goals and resist the opposing force. For example, people in the front preventing to be picked off by police and trying harder as a group to prevent arrests. I mean, yeah, they try to do their very best there, but it's like it's a massive fucking crowd of people. I don't think that person is a Fed. Did you see Al Qaeda announce that it's Jihad Summer? Am I Al Qaeda? Because I announced it. Is Laura Loomer Al Qaeda? Because initially she announced it, and I'm also going along with it. Like it is actually Jihad Summer for sure. 2020 was Black Lives Matter Summer. 2025 is Jihad Summer. We're going to talk about the danger of sending in military, because the reality of the matter is, and guess what? There were a lot of fucking clashes, right? Born out of the police's incredibly violent reaction to people protesting that took place yesterday. But as opposed to the first day, the property damage was far more limited. And the reason for why the property damage was far more limited is because cops were not escalating to the same degree as they did the first day. Okay? That's it. Because the standard of violence is always dictated by the party that holds all of the power. The state dictates violence will happen in retaliation to the level of violence that they are presenting towards people who are protesting. Is it effing? What? What happened? What? That was weird. I'm fine on here. I don't know what's happening. I'm still here. Nothing on my end. Refresh. That was the weirdest stutter I've seen in a while. Maybe the fucking feds are coming after me finally. Twitch is silencing you? Yeah, maybe. But But I hope you guys understand this, okay? What I'm stating here is not fucking crazy. What I'm stating here is the opinions that I've developed after both doing a decent amount of reading on this matter, looking at historically important events that are comparable to the ongoing civil struggles that exist in modern society, and also my own personal experience that I'm trying to share with you from going to these goddamn protests. Do you understand? And I know for a fact that if you were to attend one of these things, you would recognize, one, very quickly, you would recognize that you are surrounded by like-minded individuals, and it is an incredible feeling. It is an incredible feeling to experience that solidarity. Like-minded individuals who care for one another, who are there to share resources with one another, to engage in acts of mutual aid, and that the real fear and the real violence that you meet is not by your fellow protesters, but instead is by the fucking cops. You are safe in the crowd. And with the amount of, with the tremendous numbers that you have, you recognize that, like, when you do a show of force, a demonstration, the only thing we have as citizens is the number of people that we have on our side. Okay? We have the numbers. They do not. And the state realizes that. Okay? Which is why they implement tremendous use of force. We have the numbers. They do not. They have the weapons, they have the power, and the power that they have is because we have the numbers. This is why I try to urge people to participate in these protests, participate in these demonstrations. Okay? At some point, you have to pick whether you will defend immigrant communities as they actually exist, or will only defend them if they shape up and start acting American enough. And frankly, the rhetoric about the protests is telling me that too many liberals are picking option 2. If liberalism can't defend the lived reality of pluralism, only some idealized version where everyone acts in the exact way we assume would most appeal to middle America, we've already lost. And frankly, even if they did act like that, the far right would still demonize these people because their hate is mostly rooted in hallucinations and demagogic lies. Exactly. Will Stansel is popping off. He's right. Can't believe I'm saying this. Anyone that does not actually offer support by recognizing the real vector of harm here, which is the state's ridiculous enforcement of violence upon communities that do not deserve it at all, okay, is basically giving ammunition to the Republicans. One of the funniest things I saw, by the way, going back to like narratives, rhetoric, and how silly all of this stuff is, and I have to point this out, is yet another fellow former friend of mine who turned evil, okay, xQc. Here it is. I saw his community is eating him alive because, you know, he was a relatively progressive individual back in the day, and he developed a huge community of somewhat progressive juicers, right? Maybe they hate me, and that's fine, but ultimately still they are, you know, there are a lot of progressive people here in his community, and they're all fucking mad. And hey, hello, xQc fan, hello, post, hashtag bring this back. Okay, this person doesn't even follow me, by the way. This is like a real xQc fan. His entire account is dedicated to xQc. He's a juicer, right? He's stuck through his juicer through thick and thin, even with the gambling pivot, even with the Aiden Ross arc, and he's still like, please, dude, bring this xQc back. To which, and this is a tweet I'm going to read to you because back then, this is a very narrow focus that I will explain to you about how so many people signal what their politics are, especially people in our space. Okay? People in the space of Twitch, people on YouTube. If you recall, if you're old enough, Black Lives Matter did not start under the Trump administration. It reached its apex point under the Trump administration, but it did not start under the Trump administration. Black Lives Matter started with, I believe, Ferguson, and maybe even you could point to George Zimmerman as well. Initially, in the aftermath of nope, not 2000, and I think it was, it started all the way back in 2014. It started under Barack Obama. Okay? It started under the Barack Obama administration. Liberals at the time actually were incredibly anti-BLM. Why do I know this? One, because I'm fucking old. And two, because I was in support of, Trayvon Martin, Ferguson and Trayvon Martin. I was, of course, in support of the movement against police brutality, specifically targeting black communities back then. And I would write a lot about this issue. I would write a lot about this asymmetry in using the same methodology and the same language that I use right now, because unfortunately, the systems of cruelty do not change. If anything, they get worse and they calcify, they harden. Okay? So, at the time, many prominent liberals, Obama included, while simultaneously saying Trayvon Zimmerman could have been my son, would then also call, after Ferguson, the Black Lives Matter movement thugs. Okay? That's what he said. He said these were thugs. Or I believe, I don't know if he used the word thug or if he used the word uppity. It's like one of those racialized terms that he used. Okay? Also at the same time, you had Jim Comey, who was the FBI director at the time, when people were pushing for body cameras to be given out. You had the likes of FBI Director Jim Comey claiming that the body camera footage is making police brutality worse. Oh, he used the term thug. Did I say Trayvon Zimmerman? Oh, Trayvon Martin. I'm so sorry for saying Trayvon Zimmerman. George Zimmerman was the white supremacist psychopathic killer of Trayvon Martin. Barack Obama used the term thug. RBG used the term uppity. Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Something along those lines. Anyway, these are racialized terms. But the reason why I'm bringing this up is because only after the wave of anti-Trump protests and the wave of liberal resistance after Trump's victory and Trump putting the crosshairs on Colin Kaepernick and also the Black Lives Matter movement, did liberals actually get on board with this? The No Kings movement that is existing right now that's going to happen on Saturday, or the 50501 movement. Like, these are liberal movements, right? They're massive. They're massive forms of protest, but they're ultimately liberal. They don't have that same radical element. They don't fully understand why they're protesting. They just like hate Trump, right? Or they hate like some aspects of Trump's governance, but not all. But only after Donald Trump stood in opposition to BLM did liberals actually universally condemn Donald Trump, universally condemn all lives matter style narratives, and get on board with Black Lives Matter. Now, in the aftermath of that, of course, Black Lives Matter became commodified. You had Walmart throwing up the fucking black fist while simultaneously still funding their local police unions and things of that nature, you know. It became an aesthetic. It created a permission structure where you were expected as a human being with fucking, an observable conscience, you had to say you're pro BLM, you're pro Black Lives Matter. This is a great example of people who were not even thinking twice about openly stating their support. June 8th, 2020. xQc tweets, in all caps, it is a shame it has to even be stated, but of course, hashtag Black Lives Matter. We fucking love you. Keep fighting the good fight so everyone understands this. I want everyone to feel safe, respected, and have all the same opportunities to do great. To which xQc himself didn't fucking realize he had tweeted this and said, the replies on this really give good insight on how much fact checking is being done on X these days. Most of the replies are saying he changed. LMFAO. Literally not a single person even verified if the tweet was real. Cringe. I guess he was right because he was one of the people who didn't even verify that the tweet was real. And then he realized it was real. He said, wait, the tweet is real. Ah ha 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 ha. I'm not even going to delete the main reply. That's just too good. The most embarrassing thing. Yeah, when you have no beliefs and you're just fucking grifting along with the permission structure, this is what happens. When you, like, because this take in and of itself is so stupid. It's like, there's no way I would have defended black people in 2020. Like, that's your argument now? That's who you've become? That's so fucking stupid, dude. What is a permission structure? I'll explain. The permission structure is, before 2021, if you were to say correctly that Israel is an apartheid state, people will say you're anti-Semitic. You'd get shunned. Okay? You'd get shut out from mainstream opportunities, things of that nature. Okay? I still did, regardless, because it's the truth. But now, if you say that in 2025, nobody thinks it's inappropriate to say. Same thing with Israel doing a genocide. In the aftermath of October 7, if you were to say a couple months into Israel's genocidal campaign, if you were to say Israel's doing a genocide, people would say, oh, you're anti-Semitic. Now, most people understand that Israel is doing a genocide. Because as time moves on and as more people recognize, as more protests happen, as more people recognize the depravity of the situation, okay, there is more people exhibit comfort to be able to say what they truly mean, or when it reaches a boiling point, they are expected to say the quote unquote right things. Okay. Also, here's Donald Trump at the military demonstration. We're obviously going to tune into it in a second. But before I do, understand that guys like this are just simply doing it, not because they actually believe it, or maybe he did believe it at that point and doesn't anymore. But in most circumstances, they're doing it because they're expected to. They're doing it because they want to show that they're a good person, okay? That's it. They will never get there until it reaches a boiling point. For some, for some in even this community, like in this space that we're in, they are fearful of repercussions. They are fearful of not being able to like defend their position and maybe not articulate their position well enough. And therefore they are apprehensive at first to say like, yeah, I think what ICE is doing is fucked up. They might believe it, but they won't say it. For others, they are fearful of the repercussions of like coming out against a domineering force in politics in this space that we occupy, like the xQc's and the Asmongold's of the world, where they don't want to say something then and offend the sensibilities of Asmongold and basically create this unimaginable wrath for themselves because no one is fucking able to deal with the sequence of the endless torrent of harassment, right? So then they just stay quiet. And what I think a lot of those people don't realize, a lot of those people that are not like inherently political people, right? Or they're not like political commentators or whatever. What those content creators don't realize is that like, if you don't build a permission structure to say, no, what the administration is doing is wrong and people that are fucking defending it are also wrong. If you don't do that, then the only voices that you hear are going to be voices like Asmongold and his community, and it creates a permission structure for right-wing attitudes to fester. Okay? And that's what happened since the Trump administration's victory. And a lot of these guys that are content creators themselves basically fucking move along with clout. The tech tones of the world, the Asmongolds of the world, the more domineering a force that they become, the more other content creators that are in the periphery look at that and go, I guess this is like, you know, I guess I have to be kind of right wing. Or if I'm not, I'm just going to shut the fuck up. That's it.